Space, the final frontier. For exploitation, we're going full capitalist today, baby. We are the CEO of Yo-Yo Omni Systems, led by this guy right here, Ilan Beeblebrox, the most personable CEO in this or any other galaxy. And what is going on with this table? This is not one table, this is three tables. Mike Hutchinson dared us. He said, I'm not going to prescribe a table size or shape. The game is infinitely flexible. Fine. Instead of squares, we're going triangles. This has five. It's a weird pentagon. This one, just over there, it's actually it's a four-sided figure. Each of these pieces of space is separated by like light years. The only way to move from one to the other is via jump points, which you have to drop. In the normal game, you are allowed one jump point per table plus one. We'll get three of those. In a normal game, once you deploy one jump point, you're not allowed to deploy a second jump point unless that jump point appears within 3 inches of one of your ships. That doesn't apply for solo games, which we are playing today. We have 3 sets of objectives. Grab the lifeboats and escape, hack the comm satellites, blow up and mine the asteroids. We're going to use hearts. I've already prepared the deck. The first lifeboat is worth 6 million space credits. The comm satellites are the opposite. If you have the first comm satellite, you get what's 2. You multiply the card number by 2. The second one is worth 4. The third is worth 6. It gets easier, it gets harder. This is random. You got to blow up an asteroid, and then you got to haul the space rocks off table. And the first, actually, it's each asteroid is going to be worth this. Each space rock will be worth this many points. I got to look that up again. Hey, look, I got the rules right here. That makes it easy. Destroy the asteroid. First, you have to scan it, and then you draw a diamond card. Then you blow up the asteroid, and that's the number of ore tokens that get put in its place. And then each ship that collects an ore token and gets off the table with it scores 1 million space bucks for each ore token they move. There are 2 kinds of utility ships. There are the light utility ships have no weapons. They can carry 1 ore. The medium utility ships, they cost 2 million space credits, but they do have a mining laser. It can only be used to attack stationary objects, such as your asteroids, your planetoid. There's no point in attacking the comsats, though, so we won't worry about that. But it's pretty powerful, and once it blows them up, it can haul 2 ore. And I actually have access to those because when you start the game, let's put a little more light on here. When you start the campaign, you have this wonderful little campaign tracker. See, Yo-Yo Omni Systems. You start off with 10 capital, and you purchase the first competitive advantage. I chose logistics. That's free. See the little 0? Normally, you can only have 1 utility ship per scale of the game. We're doing scale 3 games. That means there's 3 cards in each deck. That gives us 36 potential victory points we can earn. I'm a little uncertain here. According to the campaign rules, before each game, you can purchase an upgrade. It implies, but it's not entirely clear. So just to kind of move things along and show you guys some cool stuff, I went ahead and spent 1 of my 10 capital on the upgrade for system optimization. When I reveal a card, I get a free command token. You'll see what that means later on. But I only get utility ships. So I had to buy the rest of my vessels. So I bought medium utility ships so I can haul tons of ore. I bought recon wing, fighter wing, and gunships. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points that I've spent so far. I have 1 capital left for purchasing upgrades next time. How do I earn more capital for more upgrades? That depends on how well we do with respect to the victory points. And the way you calculate that, and this is what I want you to be aware of. This is what we need to think about. We are the CEO. We're not a general throwing our stuff away. You have to figure out how many credits you earned. And remember, you buy ships, and that puts you in the black, or in the red, I should say. And when you earn credits that could push you back up into the black. If we can score more than 50%, if our score is 18 or better, we will get 6 capital. It's 2 times the scale. If we're between 35 and 50, then I get 8 capital. Oh wait, so 35 to 50 is actually better. I get 8 capital that I can use to unlock more ships. See? And I think I may actually be able to spend this capital during the game too. I'm not gonna, because this is kind of how we keep score in the campaign. It's a solo campaign, and as you'll see shortly, there are going to be independent contractors jumping onto the table and trying to prevent me from scoring these cards. In a normal 2-player game, both players would be going after the cards. Because we're having a solo game, we have a limited AI that operates under slightly different rules for decision making and for movement than our ships. But before we get to that, let's figure out where these objectives go. Each of these 7 objectives goes on a random table. So I have to roll 3 dice for the asteroids to figure out, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 1 asteroid over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. For the planetoid, the same thing. I rolled a 2, the planetoid stays here, and then for the 3 comsats, I'm going to roll likewise, and we get 1 over here, 1 here, and 1 here. So not a lot going on this table. Might not even drop a jump point in there. Might focus on these for now. I get to deploy these objectives wherever I want. I've put the comsats kind of far away from the other objectives on these 2 tables at least, because I'm going to send my recon wings out, and those guys are crazy speedy, in the hopes that the independent contractors who are attempting to prevent me from achieving my objectives can't keep up. I'm not sure if that's going to work. For this first round, I dumped all 6 of my command tokens into jump in. I have to spend 1 to drop a jump point and 1 to drop a battle group, which is 1 or more starships. I start by deploying 2 light utility ships on this table. That costs me 2 million space bucks. I'm now in the red. I'm going to use this red D20 to mark how many credits I am at. Now I have to find out which independent contractors show up to make things complicated. I roll a D6 in this case, and I add 2 for the mass of the ships that came in, compare it to this chart. So we roll a D6, I get a 4, plus 2 is a 6. That means deploy a battle group of 1 plus the mass, so that's 3 gunships. You add the class of the gunship, not the total mass. That means it's a 5. It's still gunships, but instead of 3, it's going to be just 2 of them. We select a random objective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the independent contractors will jump in. They basically appear. I guess they don't jump in, but they appear as close to these ships as they can get, but still within their jump range of this comsat. The jump range of a ship is equal to 6 inches minus the mass of the ship, meaning these mass 1 light utility ships could actually appear up to 5 centimeters away from the jump point. We'll do that. We'll bring them as close. We want to secure the lifeboats. That's our primary objective for these guys. So we're going to bring them, I'll measure the 5 centimeters. These gunboats are also mass 1, so they appear 5 centimeters, and everything is measured from the center point, except, as I said, for the spaceships, it's going to be the point of the front of the spaceship. I spend another command token, my 4th, to summon a medium utility ship. That is a mass 2 ship. So I roll a d6, add 2, I get a 5. That's going to be 2 more gunships, just like we saw before. I only have 4 gunships in my collection. We're going to need a bigger batch of boats here, fellas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to appear 1, 2, 3. It's going to appear here. Jump range will be from the center of the objective. Because the gunboats are mass 1, I got to measure 5 centimeters, and they're going to appear right about here. We'll put them in a nice little wing, something like that. All right, that's gonna be brutal. I'm not sure about this. Well, the good news is I still have 2 more ships that I can summon, so maybe I should summon something bigger. I was going to... I'm gonna go ahead and summon 2 more... a recon wing. These guys are mass 6. Mass 0, I should say. So they can deploy 6 centimeters away from the jump point. And we'll kick them out this way a little bit. That way, when they move, they can kind of scoot around and hopefully scan that satellite. In the meantime, we roll D6. Now, it's mass 0, so it's only going to be 1 ship. But with a 6, we get another gunship. And we roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to see where he comes on the board. And he comes on in the same place. They are going to be a real problem to deal with. There is a thing called jump shock. If you appear too close to other ships, you might actually damage them. But that only applies when you jump in to a jump point where there are ships of a smaller mass. They're the same mass, it doesn't really matter. What this means is we're going to have to adjust our expectations, and what we're going to do. I have 1 more command token. I'm going to go ahead and use that to drop a jump point right there. I don't see that there's any limit on how close you can put a jump point to an objective, so we're going to put it nice and tight, and that's going to be the end of the command phase. I'm sorry, the end of the jump phase. The command phase is putting your tokens on the board, then you do the jump phase. Now we're into the tactical phase where we nominate a battle group and we take an action. Unfortunately, I did not nominate any of my command tokens for initiative. That means all 3 of the independent contractor ships get to take an action before I do. For the independent contractors, we select a random objective on the same table, and if none of the independent contractor ships are within 3 inches, or centimeters in our case, well, let's just do that one at a time. We'll start down here. Select a random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have appeared near this asteroid. They're not within 3 inches. That means they pivot to face and move up to twice its thrust value. That is 12, as you can see. Attempting to end as close as possible to being exactly 3 centimeters away. So they're going to wind up zooming in to right about here. Pivot so that it's facing the player-controlled battle group nearest. Like I said, they don't follow the normal movement rules. So they're going to stop 3 centimeters away. And I think that's probably good right there. They discard 3 damage tokens. Then they suffer any passive attacks. Our mining utility ship doesn't have any passive attacks. This is your auxiliary weapons. It does not have any of those. It only has a primary weapon. And then the battle group, if it has within range and arc of fire, each weapon system must attack the closest one of my ships. They have a range of 6 centimeters. As you can see, the tip of the nearest guy is more than 6 centimeters away from my utility ship, so they're just going to park right there for now. This guy is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to go for that planetoid. He will face the selected objective, move twice his thrust value, which is, again, going to be 12 centimeters, trying to end 3 centimeters away. He doesn't make it. He is, his primary firing weapons are 45 degrees out the front. His auxiliary weapons are 180 degrees, which means he's only going to get 1 shot with his auxiliaries if one of my ships is in range, which he is not. He is beyond the 6-inch range. So this last battle group is going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with a 1, they're going to come back here, and they're going to guard this comm satellite, which may be a problem for me. They have all gone. Now it is my turn. We'll move this mining utility ship first. I'm going to spin no more than about like that. I'm going to issue the vector order, which allows him to move 4 centimeters. Then we'll pivot and we get to make that second move like so. Well, wait a minute. We want to come up this way. We want to end a little something like that. We are going to end 3 centimeters away from the center of this ship. So right about there should do it. And then we go through the passive attack steps. These guys are still too far away. There's no attacks. Then you have the jump out step if we were near a jump point, which we're not. Then you have the active attacks step. But I can't do that yet because I have to scan the asteroid first. Being within 3 centimeters, I guess we do need to be a little bit closer, right? Did I measure that within 3? I want to be within 3, so we'll go something like that. Now I scan it, and I draw the first of the diamond cards. That's this deck right here, and we shuffle it up so we don't know which one we're pulling, and then we take a look at it. So this is going to be just one space rock when we blow it up. Mind you, the attack step comes before the scan step, so I can't do anything about that just yet. I'm going to put the ace off to this side to remind myself that this guy is only going to have 1 ore after we nuke it. Over on this table, I am going to move each of these utility ships 4 centimeters to right about there. And then I am going to use the vector order so I can pivot them 90 degrees. That is a hard turn, which means these guys cannot use their weapons. They are light utility ships that have light blasters, very limited range, very weak ships, but they are within 3 centimeters of each of these 2 lifeboats, which means at the end of round 1, let's see, at the end of the round, this is where we place the lifeboats down. And of course, I'm going to put them all as close to me as possible and as far from them as possible. We'll stick them over here. Let's see. And then we scan them, so these 2 lifeboats are going to be under the control of my light utility ships. Oh, wait a minute. They're not in my control yet. These lifeboats appear at the end of round 1. I can't scan them just yet. Oh, this is going to be a real pain in the neck. Well, at least my recon ships can about face, move to this jump point. Again, we don't even have to vector. I'm not firing with them, so that's fine. We go through the passive attack steps. Nobody is close enough to hit them. That's not an issue. Jump out step. May jump out if they're all within the jump range of a point, which means we can bring them over here. Bawong. We baited them, and we can drop them right about there. We should probably measure. Are we within 5 centimeters of the... Oh, it's actually 6 centimeters. We're going to drop them off right about there. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's where they jumped in. So they jumped in right there. Now it is the end of round 1. Now we deploy our lifeboats. And I think that's the end phase is deploying these lifeboats. And we move on to turn number 2. On turn number 2, we do the command phase. I'm going to seize the initiative twice. I want 2 of my ships to move first. I'm going to jump in 1 more ship, and I'm going to leave 3 tokens on tactical. That will allow me to take advantage of these little superpowers. For the jump in step, I'm going to summon a gunship of my own. He is badly outnumbered, and he is on a suicide mission. If I deploy him on this table, it's going to get really crowded over there. If I deploy him over here, it will get crowded, but at least I've got somebody that can slow down this ore processing. The big problem that I have here is that there's only $1 on the table. I'm going to bring him in over here. So he appears right about there. And because he is a mass 3 ship, I need to roll D6, and I get a 9, which means we've got a big boy putting pressure on me. I've got a battle group of 1 cruiser. And he's a bruiser. Where are you, Cruz? Look at the size of this monster. Rolling a d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to find out which one he comes on. He comes on well away. And oh, look at that. Now we've got a bigger ship appearing near the smaller ships. He has to appear, because the cruiser has a mass of 3, he has to appear within 3 centimeters of the telecom satellite. Because these 2 ships are in the way of this cruiser, I have to scatter him 3 inches away from his selected jump point. So the arrow here shows you that he's going to scatter 3 inches, and he's going to appear over there. Independent contractors have appeared from jump points off table. Jump shock does not apply to them. They can't jump shock themselves. If there's one here and I drop in on him, I can jump shock him. I'm going to move my gunship. He's going to pivot around his front, and then he can move up to 6. I'm going to stop him right about here so that this gunship, what are we going to do here? We're going to have to swing him around something like this. We want to have the gunship in our arc, but not be in the gunship's auxiliary arc. This gunship, remember, is right here, and our point is behind that, so he doesn't get a shot at us with his auxiliary blasters. But we get to do our active attack, which uses both, meaning 4d6. And remember, I still have all of my tacticals, so I think we can probably nuke this guy pretty hard. Do I want to use power 2 weapon systems before rolling? I can spend up to 2 of these to subtract 1. I'm going to spend 1. And I'm going to reduce... Well, does that do me any good? What is the gunship? The gunship's mass is a silhouette of 4. So I hit on 4s or less. By spending that, I'm going to be hitting on 3s or less. Rolling all 4 dice. 3s or less, this is a dud. It's an auto miss. And I'm hitting on... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Normally, I'd be hitting on 4s or less. Now I'm hitting on 5s or less. We turned this into a hit. This is 2 hits. That's 4 hits altogether. The gunship has a shield of 1. He rolls 4 dice, and he is able to save 1 of those hits. But he takes 3 in the meantime, and he only has a mass of 1, so that's going to eliminate him. We put down our 3 points, and he goes off the table. You know, come to think of it, this cruiser might be able to blast our boy here. He's got an auxiliary weapon. He's got a defensive grid that has a range of 9. The passive attack is, we're out of range, so we're okay. And we'll leave our gunship there. Our second attack is going to be... Let's use our medium utility ship now. He's going to take a shot at this asteroid. We have to move to within 2 centimeters, to right about there. Then we have a passive attack. These guys are still out of range. Then we make our attack with our mining laser. We roll 2d12, and we're trying to get a 9 or less. So here's D12 and D12, looking for a 9 or less. We get 2 hits. The asteroid does not have shields. It takes 10 damage, and that means we get to replace the asteroid with 1. And great news, so that was the active step. Now the scan step says, whoop, we can take him, and if we can get off the table, then we're going to be in good shape. We'll at least score a single point. Because we revealed that card, we should have gotten another command token in the last turn. I forgot that that's my logistic superpower. Oh well, what are you going to do? I've moved these 2 ships. Now the bad guys get to go. I've got 1, 2, 3... and they activate in the order of our choice. Let's find out what this battle group does. On a result of a 4, I probably should explain that the objectives now, is the ore an objective? I think it is. Let's renominate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to find out what they do. 1, 2, 3, this is the randomly determined objective. Select that, and from a non-exhausted contract, yeah, so I don't think that's exhausted yet. I think that stays on the board. They are going to, no ship is within 3 inches, so they're going to pivot, move up to twice their value. That means they're going to move 12 centimeters. This guy's going to go to here. Okay, and then, so this guy will go 12 to here, and then they pivot to face the nearest guy. And they are too far away to have any effect on him. I'll take it. He could take a passive attack, but he's not facing the right direction. Then, do we want to do the cruiser first or the gunships first? Let's do the gunships first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're going to head down this way, and they're going to move a total of 12 centimeters, like so. He's going to move there. He's going to move to there. And then we have passive attacks. None of my ships have passive attacks in range. We're too far away from the light utility ships. Then I think if we take a look at the range here, that's auxiliary, that's auxiliary. Our gunship is, they are literal ships passing in the night. But Mr. Cruiser has to activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where does he go? He's going to head down in the same direction. He only moves 6 centimeters, and I think this is where my gunship is really going to take it on the chin. He moves 6 centimeters to there. Now that's movement. Now we do the passive attacks. Enemies with auxiliary weapons. We're going to roll 2d6. That's our gunship fighting the cruiser. The gunship has a range of 6 centimeters. If their points are within 6, which they are, we'll try to keep them facing the right direction. We get to roll 2d6 to attack him. We get a 4 and a 5, and to hit the cruiser, we only need to roll below an 8. So we hit him twice. But he has shields, so I don't think we can hurt him. I think we still roll for the shields, and on a 6, nothing happens. But he blocks both of those shots. And now the cruiser gets to take a shot with his primary weapon. Well, no, he does not. The macro beam has a range of 12. So the macro beam, he's out of range of the macro beam. But these guys are not. This light utility ship is within 12 to 24. So we're going to be able to take a shot at that utility ship with the macro beam. Rolling 2d12. The light utility ship has a silhouette of 4. And we get 2 misses. It's not meant for plinking. It's meant for bigger ships. So maybe this is a little easier than I expected. I'll take it. But we do also have a defense grid, which has a range of 9. And if we are within 9 centimeters, that's going to be 4d8. And as you can see, we are within 9. So I got to pull all 4 d8s out. And that gunship has a silhouette of 4. So 50-50. We get a total of, look at that, that's terrible. We get 2 hits. So I got to roll 2 saves, and we might be able to save him. Let's send power to the shields. After the attack dice are rolled, spend up to the max. We can spend 2 of them to add +1 to the shield value. Normally, our gunship has a shield of 1. We can spend both of them to give ourselves a shield of 2, and we might want to do that because this defense grid, if either of these shots get through, it's going to blow us out of the water. I'm going to spend them both because it turns out it's not the mass, it's the silhouette. This gunship has a silhouette of 4. If I can save one of these, then he stays on the table. His shields are now 3. We threw all power. We failed to save either one, and he takes 4 points of damage, and he goes kablooey. Now, he is a mass 1 ship. So if there was a ship within 1 centimeter of him, then, is it 1 centimeter? Ships will blow up in this game. All ships within a mass number of inches, so that would be 1 centimeter in our case, would take, in this case, 1d6 damage. It's just one more thing to remember. But it doesn't make a difference until it does, and then it makes all the difference in the world. Be that as it may, our gunship did what he needed to do. He slowed down the bad guys, and now, because the bad guys are done, we can do what we need to do. We issue orders, and we don't have any more command tokens. So the next thing we have to do is, move. And then the last thing we're going to do is scan a single object. This is, unfortunately, the last thing that happens. So we're going to take control of these two lifeboats. And then we can't move because scanning comes after movement. Oh well, be that as it may. The next thing we'll do is we'll take a look at this table where we've got two recon fighters who are going to use their last action to scan this satellite. And we'll put a little, I don't know, what do you think? Orange, blue? Here, we've hacked it. We've hacked it blue. And then we're going to turn around and we're going to blast back here. And we can teleport over to, where would we want to teleport to? Bear in mind the info war, each phase from round 2. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and at the end of the phase, you can jump, and we're going to jump 5 centimeters to this table, but we're going to jump the 6 centimeters way over here. We're playing a little bit fast and loose, and we're going to appear in this direction. And I hope, did we move these guys? I feel like I forgot to move the. Oh yeah, we did. They were down. They moved 12 up, and then they're facing in this direction. And if we face this way, maybe we can. Well, we got some passive attacks we got to deal with. So did we want to appear a little further away? These gunships only have a range of 6 inches, so I think we're safe right there. But we may be able to scoot up and scan this satellite in the next turn. The last thing that's going to happen is this light utility ship. Now, we haven't scored any points yet. He can pivot and move the 4 centimeters to here and scan and dump this off. So we will gain 1 point. We will be at -8. Alternatively, we may want to bring him, we could use a vector order, and we could pivot him and bring him a grand total of 8 centimeters down here, which would bring him, is it close enough? He's within the 3 centimeters. We may be able to scan this. Let's do that. Let's scan it. If we can pick up a second ore, we may be able to earn a couple of more points. Drop the scan. That means we can figure out how many ore tokens are on that asteroid. We pick one at random. I don't really care. We'll just take this one. So this particular asteroid is going to have 2 ore tokens on it. And we can discard both of these. I do get a command token for my array, but because he was the last to move, I should have moved him first. Because then I would have had another tactical. I probably could have done something a little bit more zippy with some of these guys. Hey, that's okay. We're done with this round. We move on to turn number 3. But before that, we do gain a card because we hack this satellite. So at the end, whoever has the most hacked satellites, that's us. We gain 1 point, and now we are only at -8 revenue on the turn. It's okay. I think we're going to make it up on this next turn when we do that. Command phase comes next. For this turn, I want to seize the initiative with all 3 battle groups because I want, so that gives me 3 of my command tokens on seizing the initiative. I've got 3 more command tokens for powering up, and I specifically want to do that because I want to bring my recon ships, which have a thrust of 10. They're going to zip on up here. And then, boy, what do they got? They got 3-inch ranges on their ships. I think I want to go ahead and order them to vector. They can move, pivot, and move. And I'm going to hide over here. Then well, wait a minute. They got to be within 3 centimeters, right? I'm going to bring them around like this on that second move. They may need to be something like this. And that's going to allow them to scan this satellite. Then this guy can use his movement step. He moves to close, and then he launches his attack with the mining laser. He's only 2 centimeters away. So he rolls the 2d12, and if we get a single hit below 9, then he blows up the asteroid. And we get a 9 and a 10. So that's fine. This asteroid goes bye-bye. It blows up, and on our scan step, we take our second chunk of space rock. That's all we can do for this turn. Then we have our light utility ships, and I'm going to give them a vector movement. They're going to pivot. They're okay. So first we move, and this is where things get hairy. We're going to move up to here. Oh, I forgot. This lifeboat moves in a straight line 4 centimeters. He's going to wind up right there at the end of the second turn. So we zip up to here, and now we have to weather passive attacks. Are we within 12? We are. This guy is not. This guy is going to suffer one of those big railgun attacks at 2d12. He has a silhouette of 4, and the macro beam is rolling 2d12, which means a single hit will wipe us out. I get an 8 and a 10, and we emerge unscathed. But we do have these 2 gunships that will target the nearest ship. They are further than 6 and further than... Oh, no, this guy is within 6. So we'll have to take on 4d6 from that gunship. Oh, no, this is passive attack, so it's only going to be 2d6. And this time we get hit twice. The light utility ship has shields of 1. I'm going to dump all power. I'm going to dump 2 points into there, giving this guy shields of 3. And he is going to pass both of those hits, taking no damage. Then we move on to the jump out step, or the scan step if you prefer, which I do. Because on the scan step, we can dump these 2 lifeboats, kapow, kapow, out of the jump point, and that will allow us to score the top 2 cards, which are a 3 and a 2. That's 10 whopping bucks. We are now up to a total value of +2. We're in the black, fellas. Unfortunately, we are also done moving. So I'm going to do my cruiser first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's a D10. That doesn't work. He is going to move straight on down the line. He's going to move 6 centimeters to here. He has to weather passive attacks. I don't have any. He does have point defense systems. He's got a defense grid that allow him to roll 4d8 against my light utility ship. So 4d8, looking for 4s. He gets 4, 5, 6. We only get 1 hit, and that's going to be... we're going to save on a 1. We do not... That point defense is going to do a total of 2 damage to a light utility ship with a silhouette of 4. So I got to drop my 2 damage tokens down on him. And that's all right. He's still kicking. I think all things considered, we're doing okay. The gunships are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On a 3, they're going to turn and head for this objective. Oh, yeah, we still have a card on it. So that's the way they're going to go. We still have 1 card on everything. Let's see, 12. So they're going to go to 3 centimeters away, which was going to put them right here and right here. And then, are we within 6 inches of my light utility ships? We're not. Remember, it's point to point. So there's no firing there. Then we have these 3 gunships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you gonna do? Wait a minute. Didn't we blow this guy up? We did. Okay. Let me re-roll that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, so 6. So this is the one they're going for. That's that last objective. And they're going to blast on down a total of 12 centimeters and then turn to pivot in this direction. A little something like that. I think we can be a little freehand here. And they are going to light up my light utility ship. Oh, this is going to be ugly. The good news is my utility ship can take a shot. Oh, he's not motionless, though. We have no defenses here. Yeah, I should have thought about that. There was a 66% chance they were going to come down and just light him up. We're in big trouble. We've got a total of 3 attacks. I don't see any way that this works. We're going to get hit. The medium utility ship has a silhouette of 5. We're going to get hit 4 times. The good news is he's got shields of 3. So we'll save 2 of those. We're only going to take 2 damage from the first guy. And then the second guy is going to hit us with a silhouette of 5. He's going to hit us twice. We're going to save 1 of those. Yeah, it's used shields of 3. Oh, if I juiced my shields. Okay, I got 1 hit point left for this last guy to attack. And he's going to get a total of 2, 3 hits. And I can juice my shields to 4, but, and I save them all. So, wow, I have 3 damage on that guy. He's not looking pretty, but he doesn't have to look pretty. He just has to get off the table. I can't believe we survived that. I feel like I cheated. It's that close. That weird. But we're at the end of round number 2. We have another hacked satellite. Oh, this satellite is gone. This satellite is hacked, and we score points for that one. So I draw. Wait a minute. What happened here? I feel. Oh, no, it's this one. So we score another 4 points for that, and that takes us up to a total of 6. Fantastic. We've hit the 20% profit margin. I'm not spending any more money. No more ships are coming on the table. I think we're going to be okay here, because we're going to score a couple of more points down here. We might not do great, but I think we're going to be okay. We put all 3, let's see, we'll go 1, 2, 3 on Seize Initiative, and we'll put 3 on Tactical going into this last turn. And that's going to allow us to move all of our ships first. That's going to be really important because, well... I wonder, what if we, oh yeah, we do have a couple of other opportunities here. Let me think about this. We'll start with Mr. Damage here. He's going to pivot, and he's got to be within 4 centimeters. We're going to kick him way out here because we need to get beyond the auxiliary range of these guys. And if we use our vector order, we can move really far away and still be to within jump range. We'll take the damage with us. The reason we do that is on the scan step, we're going to dump these 2 points, and we're going to go up to a total of 8. Is it 1 credit for each of those, or is it 2? If it's 1 credit, we're at 8. If it's 2, we're at 10, and that would be better. I think it's 2 points for each. I might have shorted myself. I'm going to go up to 10. I might supposed to be at 11 for that. Oh, no. That's right. Those are the first ones that we hauled out yet. So I am at 10 now. I'm almost to 30%. I'm hoping to get to 35. It's going to be a bit of a long shot, though. The second group that we're going to use is these guys are going to make a high G maneuver, so they can't shoot, but they're recon fighters. They're not going to shoot anyway. I should have saved, I could have saved $1 if I'd only brought one of these guys in. At the end of the movement step, so they're going to move down to here, and then they're going to jump, boom, and they're going to appear a total of 6 centimeters away from this jump point. They're going to appear right here. Because that's the end of their movement phase, they will be subject to the point defense of this guy over here. That is a passive system that attacks. Can we get beyond that? Maybe we can't. Look at that. If we jump to right here, we'll be beyond the reach of his defense network. Yeah, we'll do that. But that's all we can do. We have a shot to hack this and gain just a couple of more points before the end of this game, depending on what the bad guys do. So now we have to use these light utility ships, and for that we're going to make a hard turn. Not a lot of shooting in this one, but that's okay. And we'll move 4, pivot, and we'll move another 4 like so. When we reach 4 silhouette, we'll have to remove one of these guys. But we are close enough to scan this last objective, and oh, would you look at that? It's going to have, look at that, 3 tokens on it. We may be able to get some of, if we can just get a couple of those. You know what we should have done? We should have jumped and then scanned. I don't know if you can jump and scan on the same turn. If we were smart, we would have brought him over here. Or he's mass 4. Yeah, it's jump, and we would be within jump range, so maybe we bring him over. We have another option of getting to this asteroid and picking up a couple of more points. These guys are now, I don't need to worry about them because I'm done on this table. They're just going to zip around here. I don't think they have anything to do. If you have one of your selected objective on the same table as a non-exhausted contract. Yeah, by leaving that point, these guys are out of the way. I don't need to worry about this table anymore. If I recall correctly, we're on round 4. Let's see. This guy goes here, and then at round 3, he moves to there. And I don't control him. He disappears. So that's exhausted. We're not going to be able to score these $2. That's all right. We do need to worry about these gunships and this cruiser. The cruiser is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He is going to move towards this guy and face the nearest ship is these little guys, which will be, let's see, so he moves directly and then he faces, and these guys are the nearest, which he doesn't really have any hope of hitting. They are within, we'll give them within the 9 inches of that point defense, though. The defense grid rolls 4d8, and the silhouette of the recon wing is, ooh, it's not good. It's 4d8. We're trying to hit 2s. Good luck, buddy. He's going to score 2 hits. My recon wing does not have any shields, so one of those guys gets blasted. Then his primary weapon is going to target, this guy is probably the closest one within range. He is going to be, is he within 12? I got to go this way. I hope I got room. He is just a little bit out of range. No, that's right. He's within range. He's beyond 12. So 2d12 targeting the big boy here. He's going to get 3 hits. And so I got to use, the big boy has a silhouette of 5. The utility ship has 5. He's got 2 shields, and he's going to fail, and that's going to blast him out of space. Then we have to figure out what the gunships do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are going to pivot, and they are going to move, let's see, let me make sure I get this right. Pivot, so it's facing the player-controlled battle group. Wait a minute. Pivot, so it's facing the player-controlled battle group nearest. Select a random objective. If no ship is within 3 inches, the battle group pivots to face the selected objective and then moves twice its thrust value. There we go. So these guys will pivot in this direction, and they will move 12 centimeters in that direction. So he's going to wind up right about there. Are further than 6 centimeters from the recon, they pivot, so they're not going to have a shot at him. That will end the turn, and I probably didn't use all of my tacticals, but I'm not too worried about that. I will dump both of my command tokens into the tactical, or into C's initiative. I want both of my commanders to go first. I am going to start by trying to blast this asteroid. That's about all I can do there. The light utility ship has light blasters. I'm rolling a d6 and then another d6. I need to score a 9 or less against a... Oh, how many points of damage do I do? Wait a minute. I might have been doing this wrong. The asteroid has a silhouette of 9, meaning I got to do 9 points of damage with light utility ships? I think I'm okay because the medium utility ship mining laser does 5 damage. So as long as I hit those other 2 asteroids twice, they're destroyed. These guys over here, though, they don't have any hope of even touching this asteroid. That being the case, I'm going to pivot them really sharply. High G maneuver. I'm going to give them all power to engines so they can move double speed. And I'm going to do that for a very important reason. I want to move them up to here because I want them to screen. I want them to be closer to both of these bad guy groups. I want them to screen my last recon. I have a chance to get away with this. My last recon is going to move 10. I'm going to do vector movement, and he's going to move to here, and then he can move up to 10, so he's going to move way over there, and he's going to drop a scan on this last satellite. Gain equal to the, or let's see, each phase after round 2, repeat this process until there's no more hacked satellites. Okay. That's going to be it for him. We do have some passive attacks that I should have rolled for these 2 gunships. And, yeah, well, that's a good point, right? Because these guys are going to have 4 shots at him. And we're going to get a total of 1. What is the light utility ship? Silhouette of 4. So we get 3 hits. The light utility ship has shields of 1. We're going to get no saves. That's going to do 3 points of damage. So we'll take off 1, 2, and there's 3. The other guy is going to do his passive attack, and that's going to do 3 more hits. Looking for 1s and not getting it. That light utility ship is gone. Now, we do not have any more points to score on the planetoid. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to determine the direction these guys go. The gunships are going to go towards the asteroid, and the cruiser is going towards the SATCOM. This will be the last turn, so these guys blast down 12, they move, and there's nothing doing. He's going to pivot, and then he's going to move his 6 centimeters like so, and he is beyond 12, so he can roll his 2d12, trying to hit a silhouette of 2. He only hits on 1s. We get a 2. Oh, no. He hits with 1 of those. And that's going to do it for the recon. Couldn't quite get away with it. That's going to be the end of the game. As mentioned, we were able to score a total of 19 of the possible points out of 36. It cost us 9 to do that, leaving us with a total positive revenue of 10 credits. When you play a solo game, you look at the chart. If we scored 20% or more, which we did, 7.6, no, let's see, it's 36, would be 7.2, is acceptable. Had we scored more than a third, or basically if we'd scored 13 points, we would have scored a total of 8 capital. As it is, we're just going to score 3 altogether. That puts us at a total capital of 4, which we can spend for advanced material scanners. That is exactly what I want to do to start the show. Advanced material scanners give us a 5-inch scan range. We only need to get within 5. That's going to give us a lot more flexibility. I don't know what my next suite of contracts are, but if I have to scan it all, I got a lot more freedom of motion. That only cost me 2 of the points. So I have 2 left, which is not enough to unlock any more ships. That's all right. Our capital goes up by 1, and we'll save that investment for later. Our next game is going to be a scale 4 game. And a scale 4 game means that we will have 1 extra objective on each card. So if I had 3 lifeboats this time, I'll have 4 lifeboats next time. Note that makes the maximum number of cards in each deck 4 cards, which means we have a lot more potential points on the board, dollars to make, but we're going to have to scramble because our percentages stay the same. We still need to get over that 20% if we're going to turn a profit and keep the shareholders happy, which is really what old Elan Beeblebrox is hoping to do. Till next time, I'm praying for you.